Children. So now the next part of biological classification we will start, that is the plant kingdom. And in plant kingdom we have done three groups already. That plant kingdom is divided into five groups, that is first algae, then bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So till pteridophytes I have explained you, and now today we will do the gymnosperms and angiosperms. Then the kingdom Plantae, it will be completed. After this we will do the kingdom Animalia. In this manner, that five kingdom classification of Whittaker will be completed. So let we see that what are the topics involved in this. So in gymnosperm we will study the general characteristics and graphic outline of the life cycle of a typical gymnosperm, that is Pinus. Here only the graphical outline is there, description is not required. Economic importance of gymnosperm. Angiosperms, the general characteristics and classification of angiosperms into the monocot and dicot, and the comparison of life cycle patterns of different plant groups, as the three types of life cycles are generally found in the life cycle of plant, that is haplontic, diplontic and haplodiplontic. So we'll start with the gymnosperms. So the general characteristics of the gymnosperms, they are ancient seed bearing plant, means they produce seed. And the tallest tree, which is Sequoia sempervirens, it is 366 feet tall. It is a gymnosperm. Gymnosperm, they show xerophytic characters. Xerophytic characters means thick cuticle is present, leaves are scaly, so scale leaves are there, sunken stomata, stomata situated deep in the epidermis. So these are the xerophytic characters present in the gymnosperms. And the dominant plant body is being sporophyte, as I explained you in the pteridophyte also, that the two that type of generations are found in the life cycle of plant, that is a spore bearing diploid generation is known as the sporophyte, and gamete bearing haploid generation is known as the gametophyte in the life history of a plant. So here the sporophyte is being the dominant plant body, and this sporophyte, it is differentiated into the roots, stem and leaves. So they have roots, stem and leaves, as we have studied in the pteridophytes also. They also have the root, stem and leaves, but here the roots are the tape roots, like types of roots, if you remember, you have studied in the previous classes, fibrous and tape roots. So these gymnosperms, they have the tape roots. Now there are some that special features of their root is that the roots of the pinus, they show symbiotic association. Symbiotic means this type of association in which that both the partners, they are benefited from each other in this type of that partnership or association. So they show association with the fungal hyphae. So you have studied in the previous that class that mycorrhiza and the lichens are there. So this mycorrhiza are actually the symbiotic association of the fungus and the roots of the pinus, that higher trees, if you remember. So this fungal hyphae, they develop in the roots of the pinus. So they show the symbiotic association ship here, where the fungal hyphae, it gets food from the this tree, and in turn it provides certain nutrients and the moisture. And the coralloid roots, another that is specification in the root is the coralloid roots. These coralloid roots, they are found in the cycas, and they also show the symbiotic relationship with the cyanobacteria. So this is the specific feature of their roots. And stem is being woody and erect, and it is branched in pinus and unbranched in cycas. So both type of stems are found, branched and unbranched. Then the xylem which is present here, it is without vessels, and phloem is without companion cells. So xylem and phloem vascular bundles are there, but some of the features are lacking, like the xylem is without vessels and phloem is without companion cells. Gymnosperms, they show heterosporous condition. As you remember, I explained you homospory and heterospory. So gymnosperms, they show that heterosporous condition, where they produce the two types of spores, microspore and megaspores. And these spores are produced in the sporangia, these sporangia they are formed on the spatial leaf like structure that is known as the sporophylls. So these sporophylls are the spatial leaf like structure, they have sporangia, and these sporangia they produce spores. Now sporophylls are compactly arranged together, they form cone or strobili. So structure formed by the union of this sporophyll, this is called as cone or strobili. Pollination is anemophily. Anemophily means pollination by wind. Ovules are naked, they are not enclosed in ovary wall. So naked ovule, and they are not enclosed in the ovary wall. And type of ovule is orthotropous. So there are different types of ovules, we will study further in the next class, that types of ovules, orthotropous, anatropous. Anatropous type of ovule are found in the angiosperms, and gymnosperms they have the orthotropous type of ovule. Then the fertilization, it occurs by the formation of pollen tube. If you remember in previous classes you have studied the pollen germinates and form the pollen tube. So this type of fertilization is known as the siphonogamy, and mostly these plants they show polyembryony. Poly means many, embryony embryo, formation of embryo. So the formation of more than one embryo in the ovule is seen in the gymnosperm. So this phenomenon is known as the polyembryony. And endosperm, it is formed before fertilization and always being haploid. So here the endosperm is being haploid and it is formed before the fertilization. This endosperm is the nutritive tissue which is formed during the fertilization. Examples of gymnosperms are Cycas, Pinus and Netum. So you see this Cycas is known as the sago plant also, as it provides sago from which you know that sabudana is prepared. So this is sago palm and this is Pinus. So in sago you will see that the stem is unbranched. You see the single stem from which the many that leaves are arising here, and the Pinus it has the branched stem. And in Pinus you can see the cones also. These are actually the sporophylls compactly arranged and form the cones. So these are the examples of the gymnosperms. Now we will study the life cycle of Pinus, one of the gymnosperm, that is Pinus. So we will understand that what type of plant body, as well as what is the sporophytic generation, what is the gametophytic generation. So in Pinus, this, as I said you in the gymnosperm, that male and female reproductive structures are the cone, means all these sporophylls they arrange compactly and they form the cone or the strobili. So these strobili or cone are of two types, female cone and the male cone. This female cone, it has megasporangium, and male cone is made up of the microsporangium, and you see they are in the diploid conditions, because they will form the spores. These spores will be the haploid one. Now megasporangium will form megaspore mother cell, means megaspore mother cell develops in the megasporangium. This megaspore mother cell, it undergoes meiosis and it forms the megaspores. Microsporangium, it has the microspore mother cells. These microspore mother cells, after meiosis they form the microspores. This is heterospory. As I said you, gymnosperms they show heterosporous condition or heterospory. Why? Because two different types of spores are formed in them, megaspore and microspore. So understood children? So here till the microspore mother cell and megaspore mother cell, the diploid condition is there. But after meiosis, when megaspores and microspores are formed, then these are haploid. You know, after meiosis 4 haploid cells are formed. So here 4 megaspores and 4 microspores are formed respectively from one mother cell. Okay, now the gametophytic stage, it starts here, the gametophytic generation here. So these that haploid micro and megaspores which are formed further, they undergo that fusion. Okay, so these megaspores they have embryo sac. Here in embryo sac the archegonium is there which contains the egg, microspore they develop the male gamete. So this egg and male gamete, they fertilize, means they fuse. This fusion is known as the syngamy, and the fertilization takes place. Now after fertilization, zygote is formed. You can see here that this is known as the oospore here, and here again the diploid condition is restored. So you see here the sporophytic generation starts here, and gametophytic generation starts just after the formation of the haploid spores. These spores, they have different that parts, and further they develop the male and female gamete, and as the male and female gamete fuses there and diploid, that oospore is formed, the gametophytic generation now it's over. Now the sporophytic generation starts here after the formation of oospore, which is being the diploid one, that you know, that is zygote. Now this develops into the embryo, and further the it develops the seed. You know that remaining part of ovule, it forms the outer covering and the nutritive tissue and all that. So it develops into the seed. Now this seed further germinates and form the main plant body, which is being the sporophyte. So here the sporophyte is being the dominant one. So understood, children? This is the life cycle of Pinus. So here you can see this dotted line. Here it is dividing the life cycle into the two parts, that is the two generation, sporophytic generation at the upper side, and the lower side you will see the gametophytic generation. So gametophytic generation is starting from the megaspore, microspore, and ending at the fertilization. And after fertilization, the sporophytic generation starts and it ends at the megaspore mother cell and microspore mother cell. So here gamete formation is taking place in the gametophytic generation, and spore formation is taking place in the sporophytic generation. Understood, children? So this is the life cycle of Pinus. Now we will study the economic importance of the gymnosperm. So seed of some species like Cycas and Pinus, they are edible, and seeds of that Cycas also, they yield the sago, which is also called the arrowroot, and wood of pine, fir, spruce, cedar is used as the timber, paper, pulp, and resin. Cycas and that Pinus are grown as ornamental plant. Some other uses are soap, gum, varnish paints, in nail polish and perfume. So these are the economic importance of the gymnosperms. You can learn any 5 or 6 from your book also. Now angiosperms. Angiosperms, they are the flowering plant. So about flower and flowering plant you have studied in your previous classes also, lower classes already. So flowering plants, they have the ability to bear flowers and the fruits. So here the most prominent feature of the angiosperm is the ability to bear flowers and the fruits. Sporophyte is being the dominant phase, and it is differentiated into the root, stem, and leaves. Well developed vascular bundles they have, means here xylem contains vessels and phloem contains sieve tubes and companion cells. Flowers are the reproductive structure. About that also you have studied well in the previous classes. It is being the reproductive structure. It helps in the process of sexual reproduction. So presence of the flowers is one of the most distinguishing feature of the angiosperms, because it helps in the reproduction, sexual reproduction. Flowers are pollinated by wind, water, or insect or other animals also. Pollen grains, they represent the male gametophyte, and ovule, it represents the that female gametophyte. Then ovules are enclosed in ovary, as we have studied in the gymnosperms, that in the gymnosperms they have that naked seeds. Seeds are not enclosed in the ovary, but here, because ovules are naked, not enclosed in the ovary wall, but here the ovules are always enclosed in the ovary. This is the difference, and this ovules further they develop into the seed. Seeds remain enclosed in the ripened ovary, and which forms the food, means ovary, it forms the fruit. The phenomenon of double fertilization is the unique characteristics Like if you remember in ninth class, you have studied in detail that double fertilization and triple fusion in the flowering plant. This is the characteristic feature in the angiosperms. Endosperm, it develops after fertilization and it is being triploid. So here also it is the difference between the, means it is different from the gymnosperm. In gymnosperm, it endosperm develops before fertilization and being haploid, while in angiosperm it forms after fertilization and being triploid. Angiosperms further, they are divided into two classes, and these two classes are there. Very commonly they are known as dicot and monocot. Technically they are known as the Magnoliopsida, and generally they are known as the dicotyledonous plants or dicots, as they have the two cotyledons in their seeds, and Liliopsida, technically they are known as by this name, and they are known as the monocotyledonous plants or monocots also, as their seed that have only one cotyledon. So let me study the features of these monocot and dicots here. So some important features are there, like when we start from the habit there. So monocot plants mostly they are herbaceous, and dicot they are herb, shrub and tree both. Now when we see the seeds, so that classification is based on these points. Their name is monocot. Mono means single, cot means cotyledon. So monocots they have single cotyledon in their seeds, and dicot they have the two cotyledons in their seeds. Leaves they show parallel venation, and in the monocots, and in the dicots leaves they are the they have the branched veins, means they show the reticulate venation. So the veins here, the veins they run parallel to each other, and here the veins they form the complete network. Okay, the main that midrib is there, midvein is there, which further divides laterally, and the lateral branches again they divide, and they form the reticulate venation. Then the flowers in the monocot, floral parts often is in the multiple of 3. It means trimerous flower, means all the floral whorls they are in the multiple of 3, and here the floral parts often they are in the multiple of 4 or 5, so tetramerous or pentamerous. Stem, here the vascular bundles they are scattered throughout the stem. So here vascular bundles in the stem, the vascular bundle, you know, xylem and phloem. So the xylem and phloem they are scattered throughout the stem in the monocot, while in the dicot vascular bundles they arranged in a ring. So as you will see, these are the xylem and phloem. In the transverse section when we see, it forms a ring, proper arrangement, while in the monocot this is the scattered one. And stem is being soft in the monocot plant, and in dicot plant soft, hard and woody. Now one more feature is there, like the secondary growth. So secondary growth is absent in the monocot and present in the dicot plant. So that we will study the secondary growth and all these in detail. Now some examples of monocot, like onion, corn, rice, sugarcane, banana, maize, bamboo, all they are the monocot plants. And dicots are there, like tomatoes, cabbage, apples, peaches, gram, bean, mango, guava, all these are the dicot plants. So this is the difference between the monocot and dicot. And how to identify the monocot and dicot, there is a simplest way, because when the seeds are not available, how do you observe, means how do you identify the given plant or the shown plant is the dicot or monocot? With the help of the venation. So if the parallel venation, all that veins are running parallel to each other, then this is the parallel venation, and if parallel venation, then the monocot plant is monocot. And if that branched veins are there, that is the reticulate venation, then the plant is the shown plant is the dicot one. So this is the easiest way to identify dicot and monocot plant, if the specimens are placed in front of you and seeds are not shown to you. So this is all about the angiosperms. Now we will study the life cycle patterns in the plant. So that in the life cycle of any sexually reproducing plant, there is alternation of generation between the gametophytic and sporophytic generation. If you remember, students, alternation of generation I explained you, in the pteridophytes also. That is, what is alternation of generation? That the process of alternation of spore bearing diploid generation is sporophyte and gamete bearing haploid generation, that is gametophyte, in the life history of a plant. This is known as the alternation of generation. So these plants, they have two generation: spore producing generation, that we call is as a that is sporophyte, and gamete forming generation, that we call it as a gametophyte. So let we see here that life cycle patterns in which this alternation of generation is shown between the gametophyte and sporophytic generation. So let we see the three different types of life cycle patterns in the life of the plants.